Okay, guys, remember as part of our job, we do estimation. We talked about estimation, and today we will do physically the estimation. And let me share my screen. So, so you guys know we talked about in Agile, we do our estimation. If I can find Agile, right? So here we talked about estimation. What is estimation, Raf? Estimate to complete the job. So we talked about story point estimation, like, small, medium, large, things like this. And then also we probably talked about estimations in number somewhere under estimation technique, I think. Planning poker, right? We talked about estimation in number like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 1 is very small story, 2, 3 is small story, 4, 5, 6 is medium, 7, 8, 9 is large, and extra large is 11 to 10, 11, 12. So in Agile, usually we try not to have anything extra large. If something is extra large, we break it down into small or medium so that we don't work with extra large stories. So that's Agile. We try to keep it small, nice and small. So here, a group of people, right? Group of people estimating a work. Now, business analyst will go through the requirement. And what is the requirement in Agile? Is the story, right? Story. So user story. And this panel right here, you have QA, you have developers, you have, let's say you have 2 QAs, 4 developers, or 1 QA, 4 developers, Scrum Master, and product owner, or business analyst. So business analyst will explain the requirement to this group, and this group has to estimate. Now, they have to estimate and agree on the size of it. Now, if one says it's a 1, after understanding that requirement, if an individual or group of people says it's a very small story, and if another group says extra large stories, and another group says it's a medium story, then we have discrepancies. And now we have to talk to each other to explain why each group thinks why it is what they think. If somebody thinks it's extra large, they have to explain why they think it's extra large, and somebody thinks it's extra small, why they have to explain. And then we have to revote, and we have to find the middle ground before we move on from this one. So that's the idea, and that's what we're going to do here. Now, what else from here to explain? Yeah, so you pretty much have your card, and you can just present your card once you understand the effort estimation for each item. So now we can go to our board, right? So this is the board we're working on, and this board has all of these stories, right? If we go to backlog, we are seeing all these stories. These are nothing but user stories. Now we have to estimate it. I would request the lead. So these boards from last batch, right? So you would see most of the board already has estimation. I would request the leads to delete them, and then you can do your estimation with your team later this week. And let's practice here. So we're going to start from explaining from this one, and then we'll take it from here. So when we estimate something, before we start our actual estimation, we're going to create a reference story. Reference story, user story. So what is reference user story? So first, collectively, we'll pick a user story which is fairly straightforward, and we'll estimate it. And after estimating it, After that, after estimating this one, everything else, when we estimate, we're going to refer to this one, and we're going to evaluate if the next one is bigger than this one or smaller than that one. So we'll just practice it now. So it's going to be easy. So homepage logo. So this is user story IO-4. Now, what do we want out of this one? So this one, if you look at the description, we're saying as a user, I should be able to see the logo of the homepage. This should be very, very straightforward. We're just talking about this logo. Excuse me. This logo, very, very straightforward, right? Now, in acceptance criteria, it is written in cucumber format. It's given when then. So now we're explaining user journey here. Those of you know and understand what is acceptance criteria and what is cucumber format. So given is a precondition, when is the user action, and then is the outcome of user action. So in here, we're saying when user have access to the application. So we're saying when user has access to the application, given user has access to the application, which is the precondition. Access to the application is nothing but application URL. When is the action item? User navigates to the home page. So user has access to the application, then they navigate to the home page, and the outcome is user is able to see the logo. Very straightforward. Now, if we look at this, right, how would you estimate it? What type of number would you give this one? I'm not even seeing. Okay, let's configure this. Wait, story point estimate.
But it was there before.
Sorry.
It was on the right side before. Um, if you just go back to the story, the original story.
Oh, you were saying you was there already.
Yeah, it was already there. You just have to go back to the original story.
Okay, so I can just simply cancel out of it and
On the
yeah,
right
it's right
side.
here. Yeah, it's right here. So looking at this, what do you guys think this one is? Is it which category this one falls under? Very small, small, medium, large, extra large. What do you think?
Very
Looking at
small. Very small.
very, okay. So if we agree this one is very small, so we're gonna mark it as 1, right? So we're gonna mark it as 1, and after, so we can use this one as a reference story going forward. Ideally, I would rather select something 2 or 3 story point, but some reason I selected it, so let's just go with it. So this one is our reference story. Now let's go ahead and if we refresh it, you'll see it's this number is going to change. It already changed. So now we see we have total story point here is 1, and this is coming out of this one. And now when we go and estimate rest of them, you'll see the number is growing. So let's estimate the next one. Okay. So next one, actually, we're gonna do it in the planning poker itself. So how many of you joined? I'm not seeing a lot of you. I'm only seeing 5, 6 of you. Can rest of you join? Do you have the link? Are you guys able to join this estimation?
Abai, I didn't get no link on the chat. Can you send it again for me, please?
Yeah, will do. Somebody,
Yeah, same here. I didn't get it. So.
Yeah, I'll give it to you guys in a second. Looks like somebody took over this ownership. I'm not even able to do much setting. Let's go to setting.
It's asking for a room. I'm not sure what to enter there.
Give me a second. Okay. Yeah, the link is here in the Zoom chart. This is one of the tools that we use. Let's not vote, guys. I'm not sure who started. Let's not vote. Let's not do anything. Just join. The problem with this tool, it is open source, so someone has already, so it sometimes acts weird.
Maybe we can get everybody out and rejoin again. That might help.
No, that's fine. Let's see what happens. Give me 1 second. Can find. Thing is, somebody took over this meeting. This.
But it's showing moderator as you though.
Supposed to be. Who has the start button? Can you guys see start button? Like start estimation. Yeah. I think somebody stopped it. Okay. Page logo. Okay. I think it will work. So let's try. How many participants? I think we have a good amount, so we can go ahead and start. I would recommend everybody to join so that you can learn. If you're not joining, you can watch. So we're gonna estimate homepage title. Similar situation here. If you look at the description as a user, I should be able to see the following text. These texts, button, and the acceptance criteria. So acceptance criteria, when user have access to the application, user navigates to the homepage, user is able to see the text and the button mentioned above. All right, so we are talking about this image having this text and all of these buttons, right? Okay. So if you do not have any questions about this requirement, we can go ahead and start estimation. Any questions for this requirement? Okay, you have 10 seconds. Your time starts now. So please go ahead and vote. All you have to do, click on one of these number that you think best fit. Okay, so we had 13 vote, I think. 10 votes. Man, I forgot how to use this one, or this one is acting up. So, all right, so we had 5 ones. Somebody says 13. Wow, somebody says 13 and 2 fours. So I don't know how this is 13. I just don't understand. If you think it's 13 and you have a reason for it, I would say that let's talk about it.
I just picked 13 randomly. I didn't.
Oh, It's a
Sorry.
mistake, right?
Yeah, it was a mistake.
Okay, so we're gonna ignore your vote for now. So we have 5 ones and 4 twos. 5 ones and 4 twos. What do you guys think? Can we make a decision, conclusive decision here? Is it 1 or is it 2? I don't know. Is it 1 or is it 2?
I would say it's
Majority.
a 2.
It's a 2, right?
Yeah.
Unless
Okay.
if anybody else thinks otherwise.
All right. So let's say it's 2. So we're gonna mark it as 2 and move on for the sake of time. All right, so we're gonna move on from
I
this.
have a question, just a clarification question. When
Yeah.
we're voting and we're estimating, are we estimating like the severity or like the severity of, I guess,
Work effort. No,
how much
work effort.
effort to put in? Okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense. And that's why I
So
didn't
you,
vote, because I was confused on that
yeah,
one.
no, that's good. So very good question. So from your point of view, your QA point of view, excuse me. So what work it requires? For you to complete your job, this will require for you to do your test planning, test case creation, test execution, defects, all of this above, right? So that's what you're looking at when you're estimating this. You're gonna say, okay, for me to complete this one, this is how much time it's gonna take, and I think it's a medium or large or whatever group that we have, and it falls under one of these groups. And developers will think that way, and then also the other group, if there are other groups, they will think that way as well. So now let's look at this one. So this one we are saying, if we look at the acceptance criteria, so description: as a user, I shall be able to navigate to course contents section homepage and view this detail. So you're talking about these details, and this is the image. So this section basically. So we're gonna go ahead and vote. All right, so this one, 10 seconds starts now. Please go ahead, vote. Let's see. Okay, well, so this one is 12 people voted 2. One person says 1. Someone says 8. It's gotta be a mistake. Someone says 5, 4. All right. So understand the requirement first. What are you saying? Here in the requirement, all you're seeing is the text. There is no actionable item here. So it will not be 8 or 10 or anything like that. This is more like 2, 3, something like this. And you guys got it, right? Most of you have voted 2, so we're gonna mark it as 2 and move on. So we're gonna mark it as 2 right here and move on. Okay. Next one, and then after next one, I will stop and let you guys complete it on your daily Scrum, or I'll let your lead set up meeting and then go through this. So homepage education. So what is it here? User journey. Description: as a user, I should be able to navigate to the homepage to the education experience certification section so that I can view these details. So a lot of is dealing with view. There is no actual actionable item here. Okay, so we're really talking about this section. Very similar situation here. So let's go ahead and create.
If it's already done, wouldn't you be able to choose 0 already done for these? Since it's already done and you're seeing it?
What do you mean done?
Well, because when we vote, the first one 0 says already done. And then in the requirement, if we're seeing it and it's already done, because it's not really an actionable item, it doesn't mean we have to click anything. We actually see it's done from the requirement from the screenshot. Wouldn't that be a 0 or not?
No, there is still effort requires. You'd still have to write test cases for it. You have to plan your testing for it. You have to execute your test. You may find defects. There is no 0. It requires work. And the reason I said it's 2 or similar situation, because it is when I say not actionable item, I'm talking about in the application. Other than seeing it visually, you are not, it's not a button, it's not a link, it's not an edit field that you need to do or perform an action. So that's what I meant when I say it's not actionable item, but you still have to do your testing and everything else.
Okay, so I think I got that confused. It's just how easy your testing is to, like, for example, completing your test cases and actually doing the testing. That's what you're looking at, not
Yeah.
okay. Yes,
Yep. Cool, thanks for the question. So all right, so let's go ahead and 10 seconds. You have 10 seconds. This is the last one for the day. Yeah, as expected, it's a 2 as well. So, so you get the point, basically. By now you should know how to do your estimation, and we'll let you complete the rest of them. So now if you look at the dashboard now, this number should increase. So we started our day with zeros, all zeros. Story point was zeros. And now we have 7 because we estimated a couple of user stories. Once you complete your estimation on rest of them, you should be good to go. Now, right now, we can create our sprint so that we can start working on our sprint. So to create your sprint, we talked about sprint here, right? We talked about sprint 1, 2, 3. We talked about what is sprint right here. Prior to this, we mostly were working on sprint 0, preparation, team building, and whatnot, environment setup, but that is done. Now we're in sprint level work. So sprint is a time frame, group of requirement or activities as Scrum team works to complete a set amount of work within the time frame. So now if we go and create our sprint, our sprints right here, I think when we configured it, edit sprint. So we have sprint are usually 2 weeks long, but since we are working weekly, I would just think we should have, actually let's leave it here. So 2 weeks, 2 weeks fine. So 2 weeks sprint starting from today. Today is the 11th, at least in Bangladesh is 11th. And 2 weeks from now would be 25th, 11, 18, 25th. So this is our sprint, and this should be sprint 1. Duration is custom. We can set our sprint goals, but I will not set it now because I really don't know our sprint goals. But ideally, it would be estimation of the rest of the user stories, also test case creation and test case execution. So I would let all the leads to set sprint goals. I'll just simply create the sprint. So I've created sprint, and if you look at the duration is from September 11th to September 25th. Now within this sprint, how many tickets can we complete? Ideally, for this case, since we have very small, what is it? Very small dashboard, very small project. So ideally, I want to complete everything. In your actual work, you will have hundreds of stories and you will not be able to complete all of them. You will be taking like 5, 6, 7, 8 stories. Now I moved everything here. Look at this. I moved everything, all of these tickets here, nothing under backlog. Backlog is 0. Everything was in backlog. Now I moved everything under sprint 1. So let's go ahead and start the sprint. Sprint 1. I'll let you guys define the sprint goals. So your sprint has started. All of your tickets are in to do. So if you look at the board, everything is in to do. Now, once you start working on it, you'll move them to in progress. And then code review. Ignore code review. This belongs to developers. And once you complete your task, move your tickets accordingly. So let's say you are working in creating test cases, move your tickets to in QA. In QA means QA is working on it. And once your job is done, then you can move it to PO review. So we'll learn it as we move forward. Now, so this is your backlog, but you still have some work remaining. Under backlog, leads, please do rest of the estimation. We are only working with 7 user stories. Ideally, this should be 20, around 20. So please complete more than 20, maybe 30, 25 to 30. So complete that. So under backlog, you will see all of these tickets. Under board, you will see status of each one of them. So leads, from the development point of view, all of these tickets has been completed. So all of these tickets should be ready for QA, and QA should pick it up from here one by one as they are ready, from test case creation and so on. First estimation and test case creation. So that's pretty much it. And how do you create your test cases? So you go
Can't hear you,
here.
brother. Missed you for about 30 seconds.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, we hear you now.
All right, so I was saying, like, in backlog, we have to complete all of this. The leads has to complete, they have to set up the meeting and complete estimation. And after estimation, come to the board, leads, move all of these tickets to ready for QA, because as you know, development has been completed or ready for these tickets, right? So you don't need to wait for the dev complete, it's because it's already dev complete, right? Now, QA should pick it up from here one by one once they're ready, and start obviously estimation first and then create test cases. Test plan is already in place, we all know. Now, how do you create your test cases? You go here, click on test coverage. All the leads are aware of it. Please delete, and I'll try to clean up. I cleaned up as much as possible. Please delete this test execution here. So not to confuse you, how to create test cases, come here, click on test coverage, add test, new test, and then you don't have to do anything else here. You can make the changes later, or you can just say test case, and then hit create, and it will create a ticket, and then it's right here. You go in here, and then here, this is quite a bit of work, and your lead will, of course, give you a walkthrough. So now you guys created test cases in Excel sheet before. Now you're going to do it in Jira Extra. Now here you'll create an add steps, new steps, and then you will create your action item, your test data, and expected results. So action item is nothing but your description and your steps, basically your step 1, step 2, step 3, things like that, and then your expected result here. And then once you add that, hit create. So your lead will give you walkthrough, and don't worry about this one. This is quite a bit of work, and you'll be working on it. So we have 2 weeks. I would say, please, I request you, please do not wait, do not fall behind. After 2 weeks, you will lose access to this application. When I say application, I'm talking about Jira Extra. You'll still have access to Jira, but not Extra. Extra, we have it for 2 weeks, and then after this 2 weeks, you'll lose access. So within these 2 weeks, you have to create test cases and you have to execute them. So please spend the time wisely. Don't waste your time. And if you guys can give a second day to kind of speed up the process, I would love it. Talk to your team leads separately, and if you guys want to have another session, we can do another session. Can add another day basically for next 2 weeks to complete this faster. So let us know. Anyway, so that's pretty much it from my side. Any questions? So we completed estimation today, and we completed Jira Extra walkthrough, and you should be creating test cases for all of these tickets that is in your board. So of course, your lead will distribute the work and give you the assignment. And then of course, we'll do test execution and whatnot. Any questions, concerns? I feel like you guys are working hard, but you guys are very quiet. I'm not sure.
Brother, I have a question.
Yeah.
After